Well, I'd break the season into two parts. Obviously, the non-conference piece of the schedule, and then the Southeastern Conference piece of the schedule. During the non-conference, we all felt like that we had played pretty well, but then after the Christmas break, maybe even after final exams, our play slipped, and we began not to play as well as we're capable of playing. The conference schedule begins. We play four very good teams and lose all four games. So we're more determined than ever to right the ship and get this thing going in the right direction.
Hey, first questions come from Gene Henley from the Chattanooga Times Free Press. Gene?
Coach, how you doing? I was calling because actually coming from a little bit of a different angle. I know you had some great battles with Coach Foster, Jim Foster, who's now the head basketball coach here at Chattanooga UTC. He's nearing 800 wins, and a plateau he'll reach very soon. Just want to get a comment or two from you concerning just, reminiscing on the battles you had with him and just obviously as he nears his accomplishment.
Well, the first thing I would say about Coach Foster is that any time you played a Jim Foster coach team, you knew that you had to be prepared because his team would be. You win 800 games. It's a combination, I think, of two things. One, you've been blessed to have talent good enough to put you in a position to win. Two, that talent has been coached at a very high level. And when you put those two things together, which is what Jimmy has done through the years, you win a lot of basketball games. You win a lot of big basketball games. Every time that we played, there was always anxious moments for me as a coach in our preparation and prior to the game to make sure that every I was dotted and every T was crossed, because you knew that you were going to play a very disciplined team. We had, as you mentioned, we had some great battles. I guess the one that comes to mind particularly, and I don't recall the year, was we had gone to the SEC tournament. We were not a top 4 seed. That tournament was actually in your city, in Chattanooga. And we played very well in the first game, won. Played, I think, Alabama in the second game. Alabama was a top 15, perhaps even top 10 ranked team. We beat them. Played Tennessee in the semifinals. They were ranked number 1 in the country. We only had 7 players. We beat them. And then that was a Sunday afternoon. The new poll came out on Monday morning, and Vanderbilt was ranked number 1. So we played 2 number 1 ranked teams in the country back-to-back. On Sunday night, we played Vanderbilt for the conference championship when they had the Heidi Gillingham, the 6'9", 6'10" center, and really played terrifically for 30, 35 minutes, but let it get away from us in the end. I think just mentally exhausted and playing a very good, well-coached Vanderbilt team.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
Your next question comes from Blake Topmeyer from the Columbia Daily Tribune.
Coach, so many teams in the league this year have established themselves again as great defensive teams, great rebounding teams. Why do you think that continues to be kind of the case for the SEC being such a strong defensive and rebounding conference?
Well, I think two things. I think that in our conference, right now across the board, there might be somewhat an absence of shooters, and accurate shooters. There's not an absence of shooters. There's an absence of accurate shooters. Mm-hmm. And two, this conference is terrifically athletic. ability, regardless of who you play, with your athleticism to disrupt what the other team is trying to do. At 3, I think you have coaches in the league who appreciate good defense and do an excellent job of coaching it.